What's going to make the next 12 months different than the last 12 months? Hey, it's Melanie Benson here, and today we're going to do a live session on what it takes to supercharge your goals. So your goal getting instead of just goal setting. And this is going to be a month of sharing insights and tips about creating your revenue rush roadmap. Like, how are you going to create that next level experience? So I use a tool called the Profit Explosion Toolkit. You can get your hands on Profit Explosion Toolkit. I'll share with you in a little bit what that would look like. But I go through this process myself. I put my clients through this process. And what I'm excited to share with you all in this group is how you can go through the process of making the next 12 months radically better than the last 12 months. And of course, most of us are like, yeah, it would be nice to make these last 2 years kind of disappear. Although some people had a great year and really pivoted well during the pandemic. But a lot of people I've been talking to are like, yeah, a lot of stuff just stopped working. So what we want to do is look for ways to supercharge our goals so the goal becomes a magnet. And it's almost like it's a beacon that pulls us in to radically shift our focus into the steps that we would take. Hello. And if you're tuning in live, give me a little shout out with your name, because this system doesn't always let me see your name. So tell me who's tuning in. Now, I like to think of supercharging goals so that it's not just an activity of setting up a concept that feels way out there. I am a believer in supercharging our goals. So like I was saying, like this magnet pulls us in and it causes our focus and our like our resourcefulness and our strategic steps that we take to all line up and pull us towards that goal. And there is one really important step you have to take. So whether you're going through Profit Explosion Toolkit or you're using some other process, you have to do this. Absolutely have to do this. And interestingly enough, a lot of goal setting processes don't actually talk about this. They don't cover this. And that is, you have to make a decision to be all in on the goal. You want to know the number one reason why people never achieve the goals they set? It's because they didn't go all in. They didn't commit. Now, you may have heard me talk about this before, but we got to talk about it here. There is a massive difference between being interested in something and being committed to something. And when you make a decision to achieve a goal, you are invoking that energy of commitment. And so the energy of commitment has to be in place if you're going to overcome the the obstacles and the challenges and the roadblocks that will come up. And let's just face it, like entrepreneurism is wrought with all kinds of unplanned obstacles that will come up. And that's normal. But when you're committed to something, you're going to be committed to doing what it takes to get to the goal. So let's talk about a couple examples and unpack this a little bit more. Because I want to really bring this point home and how important a decision is. And as a matter of fact, I was doing an interview today on mindset and success as an entrepreneur, and it feels like a really good story to share that brings this point home. She asked me what it was that happened in my life that got me so interested in mindset. And I shared the story of how my first 18 months in business were disastrous. And I could barely break $1,000 a month. I was struggling to get there. I was working my tail off. Maybe this is relatable to you too. And I found myself not knowing what to do to get to the goal. I knew I wanted to make more money. I knew I wanted consistent, predictable income, but nothing was working. And one day, as I was looking at my bank account and I was looking at my bills, and I'm realizing this isn't working. I'm making very little, and I've got, all kinds of bills piling up. And I didn't want to go back and get a job. I made a commitment to figure out how to break six figures. And I said, within the year, I will have broken six figures, and I am willing to do whatever it takes. So now I'm committed, right? instead of just being interested. So you know the difference between being interested and committed, whereas if you're just interested in something, it's a goal and it's on your radar, but you don't organize your focus and your action steps and integrate it into your calendar in a way that actually gets done. And so in that moment, by making that commitment and really like having a declaration that I'm all in, I started to search for the answers to what would it take to break six figures? Who would I have to be? What would I have to do differently? This is where my success compass came from, if I've ever taken you through that process. And what shifted so radically was I started seeing answers instead of roadblocks. I started seeing momentum instead of this arduous, very slow crawl. And within 9 months, I had broken six figures for the first time. And that's what can happen when you make a commitment to something versus just being interested. So if you've been setting goals and you're not achieving them, chances are you have been interested in it. So another way to look at it is like when somebody says, I want to weigh a certain amount of like body weight. I want to lose 10 pounds, or I want to be a certain weight. And they say it over and over and over again, but they're not doing anything about it. That's interest. Okay. Oh, I never have time. I can't quite seem to get to the gym, or, oh, the weather's always bad. That's interest. I don't have anybody to work out with. I don't know what to do. That's interest. Commitment is, I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I'm going to the gym every day and I'm going to watch those people that have a fantastically fit body and seem to know what they're doing. I'm going to just kind of emulate what they're doing. So that's one strategy. Another strategy is I'm going to hire a fitness trainer or a coach, and I'm going to create accountability, and I am going to make a goal to be there every day. I'm going to put it in my calendar, and I'm going to show up and do the work, even if I don't do it perfectly and I don't know all the pieces to take. That's commitment. See the difference? So what happens, and the reason why we don't achieve goals and we have year after year of either struggle or not necessarily achieving these big authority-based needle-moving accomplishments is we're just interested. You're not all in. You're not setting yourself up for success. This is why I have a mastermind. This is why I host Amplify Your Authority Inner Circle, because the accountability goes up, the resources go up, the momentum goes up, and the outcomes go up. People actually achieve their outcomes. So step number one to create a radically different year in 2022, or whatever year you're focused on, is get clear, set a goal, and commit to it. Now, if you're having trouble committing to it, then chances are this might not be your goal. This might be a nice idea, and it may be interesting, but it may not be your goal. And you may find that you're resisting and holding back because you don't see yourself in this goal. And then we have to say what's really in the way. Is there a belief system? Are you maybe struggling a bit with believing that you can have this? Is there a part of you that feels in conflict? So, oh, wow, I like the idea of this, but then you come up with all the reasons why it's scary, or something bad might happen, or you're worried you're going to lose your time freedom, right? Like there's potentially things that could get in the way, and you're letting those things become the reasons why you don't make the commitment. The commitment is what becomes a catalyst for you to do things differently. Now, over the next few weeks, I'm going to be walking you through some of the really powerful pieces of creating a plan that helps you supercharge that goal. So step number one is set the goal. What do you want out of the next year? So I want to hear, what are your outcomes? What are you going to create that is different or better, or is going to really move the needle for you in terms of positioning your authority and your impact in the world and helping you increase income? What's the goal? Now, there's a second little, I don't know, maybe it's a tip a bit about setting goals that I think is worth mentioning here, and is how you craft the goal. So first of all, you want to set the goal, get committed to it, and then we got to talk about how you establish the goal. So what happens for a lot of people is they set a goal out there in the future. And out there in the future is a whole lot of stuff that between now and then that could happen. And this is what contributes to the like doing it from a place of interest versus commitment. And to help you with that commitment, what you want to do is you want to state the goal as if it already exists and gather some evidence to help your unconscious, subconscious mind activate and feel like that goal is real. One of the things that we do in the trainings in Amplify Your Authority is we use tools to tap into the neuro programming of your brain and help the brain believe that this is possible to achieve something that's felt out of reach. And so when you set the goal as if it's true, so it might sound like it is March 30th, 2022, and my best-selling book has like been all over the New York Times bestseller list, and I'm seeing the new book sales like just go through my inbox like crazy. We've had 100 new people join your blah 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 program already because they heard about it in the book, right? So that would be gathering evidence that the book is, or sorry, that the goal has become real. If you had a goal to maybe double your six-figure revenue in 2022, all right, so that's out there. But what are you going to do? And, what are the actions? What are the energetic shifts that you need to make to have the alignment between the goal and your reality meet? And that's all about shifting the energetic frequency of your thoughts, your behaviors, your habits, and your actions. So if your outcome is to double your revenue, you might be saying, all right, what am I going to do? I absolutely want you to get the Profit Explosion Toolkit. If you know that increasing your revenue, doubling your revenue, creating consistent revenue for the first time, or maybe uncovering some of the pockets that are getting a little messed up for you, if that's up for you for 2022, you definitely want to get the revenue or the Profit Explosion Toolkit so I can walk you through the 4 steps of the planning process and help you uncover the right path to get there. So when you set a goal and supercharge it by claiming it as if it's already existing, and then gather the evidence that your subconscious mind can go, yeah, all right, I can start to feel what this is like. What you're doing is you're creating an emotionally congruent state where the parts of you that maybe have fear or feel a little disconnected or have some limiting beliefs that this is possible start to dissolve and are replaced with clarity about how you're going to get there. Okay, so let me just check. Okay, and the third thing to supercharge your goal is to set strategic milestones towards the goal. So my team and I go through this process, and if you are not working with a team, you can do this on your own. If you're part of Amplify Mastermind or Amplify Your Authority in Your Circle, you can certainly do it inside the context of the group. And that is, we look at, okay, if this is the goal and this is what the outcome is at the end of the year, what are the key strategic objectives or key pillars, milestones, if you will, that we're going to focus on to move the needle towards that goal? So let's say that the goal is I want to be generating like 10 new leads a month. Okay. Or I'm sorry, 10 new clients a month. But that's not happening for you right now. Maybe it's kind of hit and miss. You get 1 or 2 here and there. And we just, it could be 50, it could be 100, whatever the goal is per month. Well, then we're going to want to reverse engineer, and you'd want to go through the lead generation system in Amplify Your Authority and say, okay, so if that's my goal, what are the milestones that are most likely to help me get there? So it may be, I need to be on podcasts and I need to be speaking regularly. It might be, all right, so I need to do email marketing regularly, or I need to have some kind of a podcast or live show, right? You need to figure out what is it that you're going to do to keep that visibility in front of your ideal clients so that you are constantly bringing those new connections in, and you can turn those connections into excited, interested buyers. That's just an example of a goal. But what you don't want to do is just say, here's my big goal. I have no idea how I'm going to get there. You start the year, and then all of a sudden, bright shiny object syndrome kicks in. You get invited to do some collaborations, or you get a whim and you're like, yeah, I think I'm going to create this product and get it out there. And none of it really is aligned with the outcome. And so you end up feeling very spread thin. You're going like a lot of different directions, and you're not pulling it in and making the connections come together so that you're moving towards the goal in a strategic, powerful way. Now, a lot of this, I know, especially if you're really passion driven and you've got a huge heart and you want to make a difference in the world, some of these planning components may feel a bit disconnected for you because it's not your superpower. And I just want you to know, I totally get it. There's a part of me that's really good at planning for others, but maybe not so good for myself. And so I've had to build this muscle up over the years. And I can do this in my sleep for my clients. Oftentimes when somebody books a VIP day or joins the mastermind, this is the first thing we do. And I can see it very clearly for others. And it's very hard to see it for yourself sometimes. And so what I want you to do is I want you to run over, don't even think about it twice. I want you to head over to profitexplosiontoolkit.com. And if you're catching this right now live during the holiday season, you're in luck, because Profit Explosion Toolkit, the 4-part planning process I use with every single client and in my own business, is on sale right now. So normally it's a $297 program. Most of the time we offer it for $197. And right now it's on super uber holiday special for $57. Okay. This is a powerful process. It's literally like you're getting my $10,000 coaching package for $57, which is like a steal. And you want to start with step number 1 and really go through this goal setting process. At the end of 2022, what do I want to celebrate having accomplished? What do I want to kind of check the box and say, I did it. I pulled this off. And let that drive the other pieces of the planning process. And guess what? You get to set any goals you want, but I do want to give you one last thought. Don't set safe goals. Yeah, do a few things that feel like I can nail that. I can put that in the, I can put that in the checkbox and I know I'm going to pull that off. That's an easy one for me. But set at least 1 or 2 stretch goals, things that maybe terrify you a little bit or a lot. Those are the goals that shatter limits that you've been holding on to for a long time and help catapult you into a whole nother level of influence and impact. Those are the goals that transform you as an entrepreneur and make you feel unstoppable and build your confidence, even if they don't work out perfectly. It's like that old saying, it's like you're going to shoot for the moon. And even if you land on the stars, you have catapulted yourself farther than you would have if you hadn't gone for the goal. Those big, bold goals are the ones that put you on the map, help you become a go-to authority, and start to build that momentum that help justify those rate increases and those higher prices as a highly paid authority. And if you need some help with it, I'm here for you. I want to make 2022 the most meaningful, the most powerful, the most inspiring year you've ever had. All right. Well, I hope you take advantage of Profit Explosion Toolkit. I'll be back next week. We're going to do the next step in the planning process. So mark your calendars. Join me here live. If you find you've got questions, pop them in the chat. We're happy to circle back and answer them later. But at a minimum, share your goals. We want to hear your goals for 2022. Okay. Bye-bye.